And every day when we do our parade, we do like to start it with our national anthem to pay tribute to our flag and the men and women who serve our country. So everybody that can, please rise, face the flag as we sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. And there was no Russian collusion in that at all, so we do not allow that here. But we do appreciate all the men and women serving our country, coming around and keeping us safe so we get to do things like we're doing here at Penfield today. Right now, that flag you just seen there on that Farmall H is owned by Nora Fories at Rankin, and we got Mr. Sam Holmes from Howell, Michigan driving it. He likes to drive a Farmall H today. Thank you, Sam, for driving Nora's Farmall H. Got that flag painted on the hood also. That is really quite the deal. And speaking of H's, we got a Super H right here. This tractor was born the same time the guy on the seat was born, 1953. Mr. Max Armstrong right here. Give him a hand, folks. He likes to help us out every year. He'll be helping me doing the parade. Thank you, Max. We'll talk more with Max when he gets up here. Then right now we're going to have this Allis 7040. Somebody's going to win this tractor Sunday afternoon. And you got to get a chance on it. Somebody's going to win it, drive it home. Right there, Mr. Stan Hardwick is driving it, and he's selling the tickets for it. So you need to see Stan over there by the windmill and buy a ticket for the 7040. You see that case on the other side that hooks to that roller over there? Somebody won that last year and brought it back so he can put it on the roller this year. So we do appreciate that. Now we got to have a bunch of Millers, I think. There's Dick Miller's WD 45, driven by Ryan Miller from Philo. And then we got Leonard Roth from Forest, Illinois. He's driving that Alice C, little C. And then we got the smallest one they made at the time, and that's a Model G, Brian Eubank from Willow Hill, Illinois. 1949 Allis-Chalmers G, the littlest one they made. It got that one bottom plow. Now, if he put that in the ground right there, I'm guaranteeing you he'd stop. That's about all that thing can handle right there. Nice unit, though. Boy, they was handy. You could see everything. Then right behind that, we got a 1956 Allis-Chalmers WD-45, Matt Muirhead from Oakley, Illinois, over by Decatur. And Matt is driving that WD-45 wide front end. Then we've got a tractor all the way from the south end of the county, Tolono, Illinois, Hayden Hughes driving a 1939 WC, Streamline WC. Hayden's driving it under that nice umbrella. Got a nice, cool ride going right there. And then we've got another one of them Miller tractors from the center of the universe. Nick Miller's driving Jim and Nick's tractor right there. That's a C Alice. They just got this thing all done. I can't believe Nick put a chrome straight pipe on that thing, though. 1947, they got all them Alice's there, Miller Farms. Then we got a WD-45, 1953, Wayne and Audrey Apperson from over at Foosland. Got that 3-bottom mounted plow on that snap coupler. How we doing, Max?
Just swell, Russell. What a great crowd today. What a great
crowd, great
day for the
weather.
I Show. Yeah, just fantastic.
Bob and Kathy Rush from West Terre Haute, Indiana. Bob Rush is driving it. It says it's great for hayrides, that 1947 Allis-Chalmers B.
That's got to be close to the banks of the Wabash far away.
Yes.
Terre Haute, you can't get much closer.
We could go
That's
on
Vigo.
more about Terre Haute.
That's
couldn't
right.
we?
Vigo County or Vigo County? Which is it?
It depends which side of the county you're on, I think,
It's
don't it?
also one of those prison towns. We're big in prison towns, Orion and I are. We get a lot of mail from inmates.
There's that 1955 Allis-Chalmers WD-45. John Schmidt from Mahomet. That was his dad's tractor, and John is part of that Mahomet Mafia. We got a Mahomet Mafia here.
I've heard about
And they
them.
are in full force out here today, I tell you.
Look at this big boy.
Well, this has come from just outside of Champaign. This is Hamill Farms. Steve Hamill's driving this critter. 8550, 1981, 8550. And they come from the factory with 2 exhaust pipes. That's the way they come, 2 turbochargers on that. Steve Hamill's driving and got a 30-foot Allis-Chalmers disc. That family is all Alice and all Dodge. They like the orange, just like the Illini.
I was back in the Cold War era.
Yes.
President Reagan was in the White House then.
Then we got a 1974 7050 by the Hamill Farms, and Kyle's driving it. This is Steve's boy, Kyle. Original paint. That's how good they keep them things. What in the world we got behind Kyle Hamill? That is a little unknown cart. Kyle Hamill owns it. Used as a meter reader in the town of Pasodum. Pasodum needed a meter reader, so they got him a little cart. Look at that critter now. Oh, my.
I guess it might as well be Allis-Chalmers as well as anything else, huh?
I can't believe they let something like that run around the streets of Pasodum, though. Because that's where the state police headquarters are, and they would give him a ticket back. 1984 Alice 8050, also from the Hamill Farms. They made them things just like that. That's the last of the Alice right there, the 8050, 8070s, 8030s. Last of the Alice, and then 1984-85 was the last of a lot of things.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It's just hard on things right then.
Alice, that became AGCO.
It became
Was that
AGCO.
Alice Gleaner Company? Is that what the AGCO stood for?
I think so. Right there, we got a Hamill Farms. Dave Ramsey driving that one. He's from over there by Springfield. He helped Steve a lot. 1980 7010, and then we got this 200 of Walter Ward from Columbus, Indiana, a little bit south of Indy. 1972 model 200, Walter Ward. Well, then what do we got here? This little garden tractor right here, a 720, Dan Repking from Effingham. Carla Repking's driving it. Ron Repking was part of that AAA Alice club down there at Effingham County. That AAA Alice, not to be confused with the motor club, but AAA, all about Alice. AAA, all about Alice.
I understand now. Now, you're going to have to explain this D21 coming up here in a minute.
Well, let's talk about that 210 real quick first. That's Brett and Joe Repking from Effingham. It used to be their pulling tractor. Now they're pulling the black one, the D21. That 210 didn't have quite enough. They thought they'd run that black D21.
Black actually looks pretty good on there, doesn't it?
It really does. It does. There's several towns around there, around Effingham, around Montrose, Shumway, you name it, Siegel, all them towns, they got tractor pulls, and they got them pulled down there in all them towns. Brett and Joe Repking, see all them weights on the back, tip over bars. Then we got the 1971 D190 XT, Bud Vonderheide from Stewartson. Now, there's also a mafia down in Stewartson, too, because when you go to Siegel, they talk about the mafia over at Stewartson. So there is these mafia people around besides Chicago.
I was going to say, I thought they were all in Chicago.
No, they're in Stewartson, too. And then we got another one from Stewartson. This is Bud Vonderheide. Rick is driving Bud's D21. 1967 Series 2 D21.
I first thought that your shirt was a Illini orange. Is there a difference between Persian orange and Illini orange?
Not if you put a jacket on over it. You cover up that decal, you could wear it both places, to the Alice show or to the Illini games. 1963 D19, Harold and Judy Myers from Effingham. Boy, there's a lot of them guys down around that Effingham, and that's part of that AAA club, and we really appreciate what they've done for the show.
Jennifer Medlin is driving that. Jennifer Medlin, and on that 63 Allis-Chalmers. Here's a 1959 AC D17. Harold and Judy Meyer from Effingham own it. There's Harold with the tip of the hat.
Of course, he has the Alice hat on.
Of course.
Besides the Alice shirt. Then we've got another Vonderheide tractor right here. Rich Whitaker's driving it. It's a Series 1. Now, this is a Series 1. It did not come out with a turbocharger. The very first D21 did not come out with a turbo, and that's what this one is, 1963.
A D10. That's a cute little tractor.
Oh, yeah.
1961 is when it was made. Christy Repking owns the tractor, is the driver. Oh, yeah, and this tractor has a nickname. It's the Christy Bell.
The Christy Bell. Well, that'd go good on the back of the boat, too, wouldn't it? You know how they write that on the back of the boat? Maybe she got that written on the back of her D10. That's got quite the paint job on it, too, Max.
Would you christen a tractor the way you christen a boat?
I'd probably do it on the 3-point so I wouldn't ruin the sheet metal on the front, because that thing is nice.
It is.
Well, then we got Mr. Randy Duden. He's part of our Alice group. Right just west of town here at Gifford, Randy Duden driving his 8050. This was on Channel 3 CI Living the other day, this tractor. So it's worth a whole lot more being on television backs.
It was spared by the big tornado that came through back a few years ago.
That's right.
Rhonda and Charlie Vanderheide from Stewartson. This is a 1955 WD-45. I wonder how many WD-45s were made. There were quite a few.
Between WDs and WD-45s, there was a bunch.
Yeah.
See what they do? They sell you that Alice round baler, and they put it on the Farmall or the John Deere or something, and then you'd come back the next day and buy an Alice tractor because it had a clutch that you could stop and the PTO would still turn.
Yes, sir.
That was a good salesman. 1964 D15 is also a Vonderheide tractor from Stewartson. Carter Myers driving it. Carter's doing a good job up there in the behind the wheel. Look at that now. You know, I thought all them Vonderheids, they had international, but there's a lot of Vonderheids got Allis-Chalmers, Max.
Hey, this is a 1963 D19. Stuart Vanderheide sitting on the seat there. Oh, yeah, you always got to pull that accelerator.
Well, the D19, that's the D19 diesel, and that's the very first ag tractor in the United States to come out from the factory with a turbocharger.
Really?
The D19 was the very first tractor of any of the manufacturers to come out with a turbo.
How'd you know that?
I just know this stuff. I don't know why. Don't ask me what I had for breakfast, but I can tell you what that is. Well, now this is the early model 190. This is not an XT. This is just a 190. Charlie Vonderheide. Charlie Whitaker's driving it. He says it's rare, not the driver, but the tractor. I think the driver's a little bit rare too, maybe. We'll leave him out in the sun and see if he gets the well done. Thank you, Charlie.
Well, take a look at this. 1948 Allis-Chalmers UC high crop with a Thompson conversion there. Live hydraulics. Lane and Linda Heatherwick own this up at Piatone. A crate tractor built in Milwaukee, shipped to Louisiana to Thompson Company, where high crop conversion was completed down there in Louisiana. Tractor worked in the sugarcane fields. That's where a lot of the high crops wound up, down in sugarcane country.
Yeah.
I ran into a couple of sugarcane farmers just about 2 weeks ago.
How about that? And then we got a 1954 WD-45 Grant Heatherwick. Grant's driving it. Purchased new by his great-grandpa. They had an Alice dealership up there at Piatone, the Heatherwicks.
Oh, that helps explain it. I did not know that.
That's what they tell me.
This is a D14. Zach Repkin's tractor. Beth Miller, his godmother, is driving it. This tractor is home down at Effingham. Made in 1958. Was that the year Elvis got his haircut?
And went to the Army.
Went to the Army.
Yes.
Remember that? Boy, that was the big deal back in the day.
That was
Elvis
the deal.
got drafted.
That was all publicity, though. That's the way you wouldn't avoid the draft. If Elvis got in, well, let me go in too, okay? Ron Repkin's driving this one, work in progress, he says. Well, it's a WD-45 diesel. I can see that from here with Rice tires on the back. Boy, now that is something different. You don't see many diesels yet. That was the first diesel that Alice really had popular. Ron is part of that AAA Alice Club. Thank you much, Ron, for all you're doing there.
Oh, an LP tractor. Dick Cruz of Indianapolis has this LP, D17 LP, made in 1965. Those tanks always really set them off, don't they?
Yes.
Especially if they're painted up real nice.
That D17 was a very popular tractor because it took the place of the WD-45 and just a lot of them built too then. There were 4 series of those even. This is a 1958 D14. Dick Cruz from Indianapolis owns this one, and Erman Hall is driving it, standing up so he can see where he's going. He don't want to run into nothing.
Did you stand up much as a young operator? Did you stand up on the platform?
Oh, yeah. That was, put a straight pipe on and stand up, boy, you bet.
This is Dolores Jansen. Kurt and Dolores have this WD, made in 1949. And guess what? It's from Effingham.
Yeah, it's from Effingham, and they live just north of Effingham a little bit, and that was Kurt's first tractor, and he let Dolores drive it. So that must, I think I know who told him who was going to drive the tractor today. Now we've got Glenn Clapp from Newton down in Jasper County, 1960 Alice D17. Like I say, they made 4 series of D17, Series 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Jasper County, the home county of Burl Ives.
Burl Ives.
A little bitty tear let me
A
down.
little bitty tear could have let me down, but
Have a
not
holly
for these,
jolly Christmas.
Not for all these women here. Now we're going to have all the women from the Ladies Auxiliary on the People Mover Max, and we got Miss Jane Pyatt driving her Alice. This is her very own personal Allis-Chalmers WD-45. And then we got the women of the Ladies Auxiliary help us out, and we got who all on there? I can't quite all tell. We got Mary Miller, Lois Harms, Betty Bensel, Irene Boer, Jane Beerbaum, and Pam McManus on the other side. There's Pam. She's selling hats and T-shirts up there. Just see Pam. She's got a hold of George all the time, keeping strings on him.
I see the warden over there. Warden, are the inmates out?
The ladies auxiliary help us a lot.
That's what I call Mrs. Harms, the warden.
That's the warden, all right.
This is the D10. 1960 D10. Jerry Long from Manteno, Illinois. That's a cute little tractor, easy to trailer.
Oh, yeah, they're just neat. And they bring premium price at that. If you go to a Mecum auction, that is a high price tractor right there because it is so cute. Now we got somebody that's got a lot of Allis-Chalmers.
Randy,
Klutsky right there.
all the way from Arizona.
Scottsdale, to be exact. 1937 WC, what it started out life to be, but they've added a few things. That's the top off of an Allis roto baler right there, and then he put kind of a Buick front end on it and some turf tires and dual exhaust.
Right behind him is Dad. Hello, Marion. Marion Klutsky, longtime Allis-Chalmers collector, just west of the Purdue campus over there at West Lafayette. This is a real nice Wheatland. Wheatland diesel?
Wheatland diesel. Not many of them things I could have ever been made.
The only one in existence, he says, made in 1959.
Then we got right behind that Marion Klutsky's WD-45 diesel. Denny Moore's driving it from Reno, Nevada. He come all the way from Reno, Nevada. Randy come from Scottsdale, Arizona, and Reno, Nevada. Just shows you how far people come to the Penfield.
Is that all the Klutskys?
I don't know. Was Mrs. Klutsky there?
Here's the 1919
612. It's a model 612 from downtown Siegel.
And this is Jake Jansen there on it.
Yeah, Jake driving the Allis. Usually he's driving Minneapolis Moline.
Kind of a crossover guy, huh?
Yeah. You go down Route 45 in Siegel and turn left, you went in Jansen Brothers Garage. Then we've got Kent Jansen's Rumley oil pull, that little 2540. Dan Jansen and Charlie and Avery are on there. How about that? 1928 Rumley oil pull. Then we got the big boy right here. That's Kent and Alan Jansen on that one. Kent is part owner of the Jansen Brothers Garage. He's got a 1919 Minneapolis 3570. Big old dude right there. And it takes about 2 people to drive that.
Was that one of those powerful prairie plowers?
You bet. It was that half century last time, and we'll be there again this time.
Altman Taylor. An Altman Taylor tractor made in 1919, a 3060, Goss Farms, Buckingham, Illinois. Russell, where's Buckingham?
That's just west of Kankakee. Before you get to Cabery.
That's over toward Livingston County.
Yes. Now listen to this. Now this baby's got the heartbeat of America right here. Listen to that. You could just feel your heart pounding, can't you?
Right.
1915 Rubley oil pull 3060E with that top on there. Eric Galls is driving that. Listen to that baby. Just a drummer can't keep time that good, can he? Man, that baby's sharp. That was before Chevrolet had the heartbeat of America. I think we got the heartbeat right there, folks.
Another Jansen tractor, 3050, Rumley, made in 1931, Roy Jansen from Teutopolis. This tractor has been in the Jansen family, purchased new in 1931. Do the math on that.
Right after that one, then we got a 1929 Rumley. Tom and Cindy Jansen from Effingham. Cindy's driving it. Tom is watching intently to make sure Cindy does the right procedure, I think. Maybe he's just riding along in case she kills it so he can start it again, because you have to hand crank these babies.
While we have a little lull in the action, when's the tractor pull?
The tractor pull here is right after the P-Raid, and then the sanctioned tractor pull tomorrow night.
What time's the sanction pull start tomorrow evening?
6 p.m. tomorrow night. I almost said 6 a.m., but
I know you did.
some guys would, the dedicated ones. Now we got the little Bedelli family. Caleb Bedoli is driving that little miniature Twin City, 1918. They made this thing. That or else that thing sat out in the sun too long and just shrank.
I have a question for you. That Twin City emblem, that logo, was it on the tractors first or on the Twins hats first?
Oh, I think it was on the tractors and the thrashing machine, the thrashing machine.
Thrashing.
The big thrashing machines. Speaking of Andy Bedoli, there he is right there on his 1916 IH Mogul. That's a Mogul, and out on the front of that, that's you put in the furrow, and that steers that tractor. You don't have to steer when you put that front disc blade out front there, and that was the steering mechanism for that. So 1916, so it's 101 years old. That's hard to believe some of this machinery is going to be around over 100 years max. Then we got Josh Bedoli on that Steiner 430. Hey, that's a 430 max, he says, max.
Uh-huh.
It's got to be better, Dad, doesn't it?
Good enough for me.
Yeah. It's a golf course machine.
And there's a little Cub Cadet right behind it.
And Jacob's trying to push Josh right down the track.
With a 3-point disc on that Model 982 Cub Cadet made in 1983. That was getting down into the final days of International, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Right in amongst them right there. Then we got a John Deere B, Cissna Park FFA. Travis Cobb is driving that thing, raffle tractor. Tickets are available next to the Pork Palace. So Travis is driving a 1941 B that the Cissna Park FFA is going to be giving away.
That's a nice little John Deere tractor.
Yeah.
I may take a chance on that myself.
Yeah, there you go. I wonder if it was purchased new at Triangle John Deere up at Cissna Park. That was the name of the dealer at Cissna Park.
Here's a 1971 4320.
From Potomac, grandson Jonathan Lyons is driving this one. 4320, nice tractor right there. A little bigger than the 4020 and a little smaller than the 4620. They needed that in-between tractor, so they come up with the 4320. Then we got a John Deere 50. Ed Frichtel from Paxton owns this one, and we got grandson Adam driving it. That John Deere 50 took the place of the John Deere B, 1953.
Have another 50 coming.
Oh, he's got wide front end on the next one, though. Yeah.
Oliver Snyder's driving it. It's a 1956 50.
That would have been right before they would have made a 520 then. 520 would have took the place of that. So that was right. Got to be a late serial number.
I saw the boys working the track a little bit here earlier. What were they doing out there?
Well, they're going to be tearing it up here in a little bit for the tractor pull. Put a little water in it so we don't have so much dust and stuff. So that's what they're aiming on, to have a fair track for everybody.
We have a little better dust control at the show this year.
Yeah.
Some paved streets.
That's right. We got all paved streets late last fall. Really turned out good.
Here's Dustin Reitz on this McCormick W6. Owned by Bob Reitz. It's a Cessna Park tractor made in 1948.
Same as a Farmall M, only in the standard version. Now we got Mr. Dale Franzen. His grandpa Ealer bought this truck brand new, 1941 Chevrolet. Now it'd be nice if we could turn this truck around. You could see the door on the other side, because the other side says,
Turn around.
instead of Thomas Burrow, it says Thomas Bobo.
Do a Yui right there. Just turn it around so we can see the other side.
Turn it around once, Dale. They bought this truck brand new at Rogers Chevrolet in Rantoul.
There it is.
And
Thomas Burrow.
you had to have your name on the truck. Turn it around, Dale. We got to see the other side once. We're going to show everybody what it says. It says Thomas Burrow on this side.
Rural Route 1, Thomas Burrow, Illinois. That's ThomasBoro.
Yes.
And on this side,
It says Thomas Bobo, because the guy painted his name on the door for a case of beer. I think he drank the beer and forgot how to spell Thomas Burrow halfway through the process.
looked like an R to me.
It's Thomas Bobo. Well, see, they tried to make it look a little better. Yeah, who knows? I tell you what, you know, when you drank a case of beer, had a paintbrush in your hand, anything could happen.
You don't want to be a sign man, huh? Where you're drinking beer.
Yes.
Super M, made in 1953, Cragen Farms, Whiteland, Indiana. Robert is in the seat there driving. That's a very nice looking Super M. You think he does some pulling?
M. You know anybody else has a Super M?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I think he pulls.
5, yeah, he's got that wheelie bars and front weights. 560 with brand new Firestone tires on it. You know anybody like that?
Man, we're ready. Ready for
Yeah,
action. with
ready.
those new tires.
New tires. Now we got a 1950 John Deere B. Clayton Allman from Greencastle, Indiana. Clayton's driving it. He says this is his first tractor purchase, so Clayton bought this himself. How about that? Cyclone B, late model B right there.
There's a lot of orange tractors here, but what is so neat about this show every year is you get great participation from all of the clubs and wind up with such a great variety.
Yes, it is. It really is something.
Here comes the Purple Cancer Eater.
All the way from Sibley up Route 47, Russ Sharks driving that thing, 1947 IHH.
Russ had that painted, I don't know what, 7 or 8 years ago, maybe longer than that.
That could be. They always have a tractor drive up there at Sibley, and he always drives that thing on that tractor drive up there.
That's a suburb of Melvin, isn't it?
Yeah, it's between a suburb of Melvin and really a suburb of Strawn.
Strawn gets thrown in
Strawn.
another direction. Forest Strawn.
Yes.
Wing.
Forest Strawn and Wing. Landon Phipps is driving this don't know what year it is, he says, 966 Farmall. Landon Phipps from Phipps Ag Company. That would have come out in about 1972 or 3 time frame, so that's about what I'd say that thing is, just looking from here. Maybe 74. He got his AM radio on the fender there, Max.
I see that. We always like to see those.
I do, yeah. See, and it's on the right side, so when you're leaning over cultivating, your ear is right next to that
there,
radio.
You can hear everything Orion Samuelson said.
All the way from southern Wisconsin.
Or maybe you were listening to Super Jock, Uncle Lair.
Uncle Larry Lujack. John Records Landecker.
John Records Landecker.
Yes.
Who explained to me one time he knows how to bale hay.
Yes. 1944 International MV, that's a high clear. Drew Hahn from Clovis Creek, Kentucky. Drew is driving it. 1,764 were made from 1942 to 1954. Yep, you're getting up in the world when you're on that high clearance MV.
I was on a high crop in a tractor ride one year, right in the midst of a thunderstorm.
Oh.
I was the highest point around. I was pretty nervous. It was down in northwest Missouri. I looked around and I thought, there's nothing higher than max. This ain't good.
A guy remembers stuff like that, don't you?
This is a regular farm all H, made in 1947. Bob Ward from St. Joe owns the tractor. Kaylee Ward is driving it. Is that what you call work clothes?
That's in its work clothes right there.
There's not even a decal.
No decal. No, we just use her as is. And then we got a 1967 Cub Cadet, model 102, Bob and Ellie Ward. Ellie Ward from St. Joe, pulling a homemade trailer she built with her dad. They built that, Max. That was a backyard afternoon project right there. Do it yourself.
Here's a Potomac tractor from Potomac, Illinois. That's nowhere near the Potomac River, is it?
No.
Model B John Deere, made in 1952. Noah Mackby. Angela Seaburns is
driving
Seaburns
it.
on the tractor, yeah. Oh, Erica Seaburns. I'm
Erica
sorry.
is the passenger.
So the Seaburns girls are
The
in charge.
Seaburns girls. There's some of them around here. You just go straight west or go north, and then you run into a few Seaburns. Then we got a 1953 Farmall Super M, Jack Miller and Travis Miller from Foosland. Travis is driving it. Jack passed away in March before being able to this show for his tractor. It's here in honor of him. So Travis brought this in honor of Jack. That's a good idea.
That's a neat tractor. Very nice Super M.
Yes.
That's a real tribute.
Got the belt pulley on there yet. Ready to go hook up to a belt pulley corn sheller, Max.
While we have a little lull in the action, we want to make sure everybody gets the half-century dates on their calendar. August 24, 25, 26, and 27. We'll start it off on the morning of the 24th with our annual tractor ride.
That's right. That's going to be well attended, and it's going to be a nice ride out towards this direction. Not quite to Penfield, but close. We're going to go out east and south of Rantoul, so.
We'll be back in by noon or a little bit after, right?
You bet.
So folks can enjoy the afternoon
Yep.
of the first day of the half century. I think there's information for signing up on the tractor ride if you go to the website, halfcenturyofprogress.com.
There you go.
There's a cute little tractor, a 240. Stan Dietz owns the tractor, stands at Piper City. Stan and Brenner Dietz. He's got that wave down. He
Yeah,
can
he does.
wave.
I like that hat he's got on,
I do too.
Front weights on that thing on the wheels and on the front end. That front end's not coming off the ground, Max.
Made in 1953.
58.
Oh, 58.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry.
You're right. No,
misunderstood.
that's good.
One step above the 140, right?
One step above, yep.
They sold a lot of those 140s in vegetable areas and tobacco farms.
Yeah, down in Tennessee, you've seen a lot of them. Probably in your part of the country
Carolinas,
now.
yep.
Glenn Essington from Kempton, 1962 John Deere 4010. Glenn's driving it. Looks like he's well equipped. He's got front weights on it. He's got coolers and tools and a whatnot box. I think there's whatnot in there. Anything you need is in that yellow box.
I wonder if that tractor goes on some tractor rides.
That could all be.
Those folks, tractor ride folks, like to strap a lot of stuff on there. Derek Seaburns is the driver here of this 1981 Case 2590, owned by Leon Seaburns of scenic Penfield.
Is this Mary? Yep.
Mary Reynolds with a 660 gas, made in 1962 by International. Tractors from Westfield, Indiana. It was bought by her father-in-law in 1962 at O.T. Kershavel's in Sheridan, Indiana. It was repainted then in 1979 with Amron paint, the original colors of paint.
Well, that's held up well for 1979 paint. But that Emron, that was good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Right behind that, we have Jeremy Camrot from Tolono. Jeremy's driving it in 1960 Farmall 560. There was a lot of them around here at that time like that. Narrow front end gas, 15.5. A lot of 560s once upon a time in this part of the world.
I've been reading about this one in the social media.
Oh.
I think this is its coming out. And then there's an H, Delaney. Daughter Delaney from Tolono has the Model H, made in 1943. Looks like a brand spanking new muffler on there. Look at that muffler. You could shave by looking into that muffler.
Boy, that is something.
And here's Dana. Hello, Dana. I hardly recognize you without your manure spreader.
You've ridden behind her, haven't you?
I rode in Dana's manure spreader over at Rantoul. We'll do it again. You bring that spreader, I'll ride in there again.
She's going to hold you to it, too, Max.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice little cub. 1947, that'd be the first year they come out.
That's a cute little cub. Yeah. Easy to trailer. Jeremy and Delaney restored all three of these tractors. So I'm sure Mama Dana is very proud to see what they've done as father-daughter.
Delaney done a good job. Now we got Mr. Bill Jansen. Steam engine right here, Case steam engine right here. All the way from Dietrich, Illinois, just a little bit east of Effingham. And he will be putting on a spark show for us tomorrow night after the tractor pull, so you don't want to miss that. Bill made sure he got here to Penfield this year. We was kind of wondering if it was going to happen, and here he is. And we thank you guys for bringing that Case steam engine. It's a 65, I believe, 65 horse, rated. I bet you it'd probably run about 80 or 90 on the dyno.
Mr. Harms always had a special greeting for the Jansen boys when they came down the track.
Yes. Smooth running steam engine.
Well, here comes the Zachary family 1200. Mike Zachary up there on the seat where Tom always sat, and we miss Tom very much. Tom Zachary passed away this spring. Just a tremendous gentleman, a great case collector, just a joy to be around. And we were out on the tractor ride with him on this 1200 a couple of times. 1200 made in 1966. The Zachary family from up Ottawa has been a great supporter of this show. They've brought a fine lineup of case tractors every year, and they're just tremendous people.
They had this in front of the funeral home for Tom, and that was just, you knew he was in the right spot when you see that 1200 there in Ottawa last spring.
Tom's granddaughter, Kelly, and grandson up in Chicago, was communicating with them earlier, sent them some photographs of the tractor.
Then we've got a 1964 Oliver, Jim Hawkins from Oakwood, Kyle Hawkins and Abby Miles riding along right there. That's a 1950. This is a 1950 Detroit. They made a 1950 and a 1950 T. The T was a 6-cylinder and the 1950 was the Detroit. 4-cylinder Detroit right there, 453.
Did they change the model number the next year?
No.
I didn't think so.
Then we've got,
Hello, Dean.
now Dean Blackford's got his hometown as Dogtown. See, he always said he was from Rankin. Now he's saying he's from Dogtown. That's just a little bit further away from Rankin. Dean Blackford, Mr. John Deere himself on that 1963 5010.
A Super 55 made by Oliver in 1955. Gary Rinker from Stewardson has a 2-bottom Ferguson plow on the back end there of the Super 55.
Right behind that, we have a 1939 Sears and Roebuck kit. You could get this out of the catalog. They called it an economy. John Baum from Appleton, Wisconsin. They took a Model A engine and some parts and pieces of this and that and transmissions and things like that and made this tractor. You could buy that kit from the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
John has been here at the show several times.
Several times, and I think he's got about 4 of them here this year again.
Here's a Doodlebug from Custer Park. Reggie and Marcy Coutant. Made in 1930. This homemade Ford Doodlebug has manure spreader tires, has a buggy seat, and plenty of parts behind the barn. Is that code for something?
That's how you made it, with the parts behind the barn. Now here's one of them A model cars right here, trucks right here. 1928 Ford Model A, that's the first year of the Model A. Clinton, Illinois, Kevin McMath. Boy, that's a dandy, Max. I don't know, though, about 12 bushel of corn, about all that baby's going to haul the way it looks. About 6 bales of hay.
5 watermelons.
Now you're making me hungry. That's a T model, but I don't have a card on it that I can see.
Just zipping right along. Here's a John Deere 630. Also from Clinton, Illinois, the McMath family. Cade is sitting up there on the seat. That's an LP.
LP gas.
We got a little spinner knob on there.
Yes, sir. They like the odd and the unique, and then you get an LP tractor or something like that. That's kind of nice. Then we got this 1950 Massey Harris Model 22. Boy, you got that thing all pinstriped. Kevin McMath from Clinton. Creighton Carter is driving it. Boy, look at the pinstriping on that thing, Max. He did a nice job on that. It makes you wonder how they started that, if they just started or if they kind of tripped when they had that pinstripe machine in their hand and made a zigzag, and then they had to do the other side the same way. That is nice.
A Mini Mo Model R made in 1950. Kevin McMath from Clinton, Illinois. Dylan Earl is driving this Minneapolis Moline. I always think that color combination is just eye-catching.
Yes. I think what they did, they took a corn cob with the corn on it, and that was the red cob and the orange corn, kind of the prairie gold corn.
I've never heard it explained that way. That's good.
1951 John Deere A Raleigh Falkert from Cessna Park. Raleigh's driving his Cyclone A. That's a Cyclone A right there.
And there's a B right behind it. 1949 B, Lester Wolkin from Thomas Boerl. This tractor's been in the family since 1949.
And Lester's one of our faithful mowers here. We mow the grounds here every week, and Lester's one of our faithful mowers. I want to thank them guys for always mowing the ground here. The grounds really look great.
What do you think that little planter behind it? That's nice too, isn't it?
I think we might have to bring that thing to Rantoul and plant a little corn. We're going to plant a little corn next week there.
Really?
Yes, we are. There we got a 1943 Oliver 70 row crop, the Bain family from Minnook and Dana area. William Bain is driving it. Sold at the Bain Brothers Implement in Dana. How about that?
Yeah, he took a picture of that out in the field of sunflowers. We had that on This Week in Agribusiness. Here's a tractor from Hobstadt, Indiana, Gibson County, Indiana. A 1963 D17, Clarence Scheller owns this down at Hobstadt, home of the Hobstadt Elites, Hobbs Steakhouse.
Some good eating places down around in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got another one from, he says he's from Evansville. This is Zach Scheller driving this one, 1955 WD-45. He's got them side shields on there for the corn picker. That's the corn picker side shields.
I imagine many of those got pulled off and stuck in a shed somewhere. And
Hung on a nail and then probably got bulldozed to the ground.
Jack Beebe from Ivesdale has the 806 in front of you right now, a 1967 806.
Yeah, it's the latest edition right there, 67, got the alternator on it. The first ones had generators. Then we got a 1456 Chuck Walsh from Bement. Chuck's and Mia Maddox driving that 1456 Nary front end. Boy, that's a dandy. I know somebody that would have liked to seen that.
Yeah.
Looking right across over there at us, Max.
It's 1964 706. And Dean Thompson is driving
Thank
it,
you.
and it is for sale. If you want to have a little conversation later, that 706 is for sale.
Then we got Jonathan Montgomery from Pasodum, and Nathan's driving it as a 1950 John Deere A. No, this is Beefy Biefeld. Paul Beefy Biefeld driving Running Scared Ichabod, the tandem Farm All M's, right there at Anchor, Illinois, the home of M&W at the time. They later moved on to Gibson City, but they was right downtown in Anchor, and that's where Beefy lives, in downtown Anchor. Got the double M's there.
That was done by more than a couple of farmers, wasn't it? I mean, you see them every now and then.
I think that was Elmo's kit right there that Beefy says.
Ah. 560 from Toledo.
Holy Toledo, this is Chuck Haney's tractor right here. Where's Chuck? There he
He's
is on the back.
He's there waving like a politician.
We got a Haney and a Jansen on the back right now. So look, oh, we got the orange shirt. You bought an orange shirt, or did they give it to you, or did you steal it? You paid for it. Oh my gosh. I can't hardly believe it. An orange shirt. Did you do that, Kurt? Did you talk him into it? I'm glad. I wish you would have brought the bigger box, though.
What happens with the bigger box?
They get a lot more Jansens and Haneys in there. And then they start feuding sometimes, and we have a big argument. Mr. Bob Miles on that Super M right there. He's made about 1 million miles through Penfield with people movers all the years. Bob Miles, want to thank him. Now we're going to get ready for tractor pulling match. So we got Derek Harms on this 1066 here, and he's going to start disking up the track. So we're going to be pulling tractors here in just a little bit.
Boy, they don't waste any time, do they?
No.
The parade was over, and Derek moved in.
The disc is part of the parade. How about that? So you folks, we want to thank everybody for coming out today. Enjoy your visit here at Penfield. We got plenty to see. Go look around. We're going to be pulling tractors here after the boys get everything ready to go.